his jersey sales are really high. He could produce. He made highlight reel catches, that he's known for. So who knows? It'll just be interesting to see how long these guys can hold out for. And that's all the behind the scenes agent GM talks. And, I don't think a lot of these guys help themselves though when they get on Twitter and social media and I don't, all the teammates are usually backing their guys, but when I am in camp and I'm in Carson and it's 100 degrees out and I'm a Cowboy lineman and I'm 330 pounds and Zeke's in Cabo sipping on margaritas, holding out. I mean, those are his boys, but you want him there. I heard a guy, a player the other day, I can't remember who it was, but he had said that basically if you miss training camp, it's like missing half of the season. You might as well miss half the season because you're that far behind, especially for quarterbacks, receivers to have timing. But he just said if you miss a whole training camp, you're way behind in the season once it gets started. So, I mean, these guys might hold out. I don't think for a running back that's as technical. They're not like a quarterback. They're not, having to know where everyone is all at once. They basically just need to know the names of the formations, the plays. It's a little bit simpler for them. But still, you got to have timing. You got to have timing with your linemen. If those linemen are pulling, you got to know how fast each guy moves, so you know how fast you have to move, when the hole's going to come, all those things. So missing time, even as a running back, you're losing timing, and just getting back into playing and not practicing. And so if Gordon and Elliott do sign their contracts, it'll really be interesting if they do basically not play till week 1 and miss all of training camp to see if they get off to a slow start. And I'm sure they're working out. They have to be. They're still pros. But are they going to be in as good of shape as the guys that have been in camp that are working with, the team strength and conditioning coaches compared to, say, maybe a personal trainer or somebody they have working with them individually somewhere. But yeah, I'll be really interested if they miss camp to see if they have a slow start to the season.
Yeah, and just a little side note, we kind of went live, I think, late. The automatic, whatever it was, the software was supposed to do, did not actually do it, and I've been looking away because I've been trying to refresh Facebook feeds, and I'm texting people, hey, are we live? And I'm getting no. Then I see other people saying hi, but not in the comments. I haven't seen anything in the comments yet. So if you are actually seeing this right now, because I can see it over here on my iPad that we are live, please add something to the comments. We'd love to hear from you if you're actually watching. If not, we're just going to talk to ourselves, and we love to talk about sports. So, but no, you know what? I don't know what I was going to say about that. I think we've kind of beat the down, but there's been a few moves this year. Who do you like early before games even started? I mean,
man, I'm kind of high on a team that ended really well last year, that did a lot in the offseason, the Cleveland Browns. I think they're at a good prime time right now. They got playmakers. They got, Odell Beckham. Mayfield's a good deep ball thrower. They did good on getting, some extra stuff on defense this year that they didn't have. They ended with momentum. I don't see, Baltimore is just going to be kind of so-so. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be good at all. I don't see them being very strong. I don't see Pittsburgh being as strong as they have been in years past. I really see, the Browns being able to take that division.
I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the Browns this year. I watched them last year, and just because of Baker Mayfield, with Hard Knocks. I think they were on that last year, and just to see the guy kind of go through camp and he did really well. Started rough, obviously, and having to come in, but they weren't planning on him. But he improved me, and you're right. They got the playmakers now this year, and I think they could go far. I hate to say that, but I think they could go far.
Yeah, I mean, in the AFC, if you look at it, it's kind of wide open. I mean, the Patriots are always good just because they have Brady and Belichick, so they always dominate that division. They will until those guys aren't around anymore, basically. Miami didn't do enough. The Bills didn't do enough. The Jets should be improved. It's all going to depend on their quarterback play, which they'll have Darnold coming into his second year, so he should be a little bit better, but I don't see anybody being good enough to knock off the Patriots. And then if you go over to like the AFC West, the Chiefs are going to be good. Mahomes had probably the best second year I've ever seen any player have in my life. I actually looked forward to watching Chiefs games last year, and I haven't done that since Christian Okoye played for the Chiefs in like the 90s, and Derek Thomas. I haven't cared about the Chiefs, but he makes me care about the Chiefs. It'll be interesting to see what he does without Hunt in the backfield, but I think they had good enough depth that they'll have guys making plays. The Chargers will be there. Denver's not going to be very good, I don't think, still. Let's see. The Raiders, I have no idea. They're a total wild card. They're a crapshoot. Antonio Brown has basically missed all of training camp so far because he's got a foot injury from something he did. I guess he was over in France and he was in a cryogenic tank. To try to heal themselves, and he basically got frostbite, is what I found out today, on his feet. So that's why he's been out of training camp, is because he got frostbite on his feet. So that's kind of his knucklehead error. I mean, a lot of people use that, but apparently he didn't have the right shoes or whatever you put on your feet when you go in there. He didn't have the right equipment on, which allowed him to get the frostbite. So I didn't see what the timetable is for that, but the Raiders, I don't see them. I don't know what they're going to do. If you're a Raider fan, be stoked. I drove by the new stadium in June. Real easy to get to, right off the highway. Pretty awesome. So get ready for that move, all you loyal LA, Oakland Raider fans, to Las Vegas after this year. But yeah, I think the Browns could definitely be right up there with maybe the Chiefs and the Patriots. And then I don't like any team like Houston, the Titans, the Colts, the Jaguars. Every year they switch who's a good team. It seems like for the last 8 years, you don't know who's going to be good in that division ever. So I can't pick any of them because you think one of them is going to win 12 games and then they win 5, and vice versa with that whole division forever. So that's a toss-up.
I think it's a defining year for the Titans. They've always made moves, and I think it's going to come down to I just lost his name. Our Oregon Duck guy. Gosh darn it. Mariota. I had it while you were talking, and it totally slipped my mind. Yeah, I mean, I think, Mariota, he gets hurt every season for a while. And and has to come back, and they have good games, and then and all of a sudden he falls apart a little bit. But I think it's gonna be a defining year for the Titans. I've last couple of years I keep picking them to go a lot further than they have. They've made the playoffs, but I picked them. I'm still kind of loyal to I think the NFC West. I think the Rams will be good again this year, and. I think they'll represent well. The 49ers, they're kind of one of those sleeper teams that, if they showed up, I think they could win quite a few games, and I think they could make the playoffs. I think Seattle. Sorry, Seattle. I know we have a lot of Seattle fans. Boo Rams. So we just had somebody. Shannon says boo Rams. So if you have a team that you like, and put it in the comments. We'd love to know, to rag on you. Sorry, but no, I think the Rams. It's a foregone. They're a good team. They got great coaching. I think that's what it is. I think that's the X factor with Sean McVay coaching the Rams. Obviously he was able to come in and do something that Jeff Fisher just was not capable of. I think everyone knew that Jeff Fisher was not, even when he brought in, was not going to be capable of taking the Rams anywhere. But, Sean McVay, he's good with young talent, and that's what he's been doing, with Goff and I'm horrible with names today.
It reminds me of when Mike Tomlin entered the league. Just like right off the bat, had a good rapport with the players. Seems like his system works good. The players respect him. He's a player's coach, younger guy, and he just took off running. And he had some talent. I mean, when you have Aaron Donald at your defensive tackle, and he's probably him or Khalil Mack are the best defensive players in the league. Maybe 1A, 1B. I don't see. They had good corners. He has good players there. Todd Gurley, we'll have to see how his knee is. But I think Goff has got a handle of the offense pretty well. He's starting to move the ball a lot better. You can really see him progressing as a quarterback. So I think that takes it off Gurley a little bit. Where, maybe a year or two ago, before last year, I think you would have to really heavily, need Gurley to play well. But now I think Goff can really cushion that blow if his knee isn't okay. I think the Rams for sure. Seattle's just – Pete gets them all pumped up. They play the right way. They're very good at home. Russell Wilson makes magic happen. I don't know when that will end, if ever. But if any right defensive end would ever just learn to stay at home, that he reverse pivots every time he scrambles and runs out the back door, you could probably get a lot more sacks on that guy since he's been doing it his whole career. But they're going to be at least probably 500. They always are. They have enough talent. They have enough coaching. They have enough home field advantage to win half their games at least. 49ers are a crapshoot. It all relies on Garoppolo. I think their defense will be better. They made some moves. They got D Ford, defensive end from the Chiefs. He's going to help their pass rush, which is basically non-existent last year. They have, Buckner. That will only help him. It will help the rest of the defensive line. I think their defensive line will be a lot better, and that will help everyone else. They have a lot of young defensive backs, so they need pressure on the quarterback so they don't have to cover as long. Arizona, they're just kind of rebuilding. They have a rookie quarterback. That's going to be tough. I kind of feel bad for Larry Fitzgerald. This is probably his last year. He's got a rookie quarterback. Even though it looks like they've been doing well in practice camp from what I've seen, they've had some big plays together. So it looks like their timing might be coming together okay, but still he's a rookie quarterback. He is, pretty mobile though, so he'll probably make some plays out of the pocket and buy himself some time. But I just don't see the Cardinals being much better than they were last year.
I'm holding out hope. I really am a Cardinals fan. Like I said, if you ask me who my team is, I'm going to say right now the NFC West. And it probably goes it's probably close to a tie between the Rams and the Cardinals. I've kind of been a homer with the Cardinals since Kurt Warner went there, and I still am. They're a good team. They're a fun team. But, another young coach who's offensive-minded. He's going to open it up. He's got the player at quarterback that he would want to coach. I think they'll be able to, hopefully, maybe he's another Sean McVay and can come in and with a system, make something like Mike Marks did and with the Rams but yeah, then it's the 49ers and then Seattle. So I'm really an NFC fan today, and used to be a Rams fan a long time, forever, since I was 12 years old. And then I booed them and left them when they got rid of Kurt Warner. Yeah, I'm just kind of weird. I'm just weird that way. So, but So if if you don't mind, I'd like to change gears and to something completely different. Um, I don't know how many people we have watching right now, but for those who aren't, we're probably seeing the greatest ratings day of 2019 for ESPN 8 The Ocho. Once a year, this is the third year, once a year, the Ocho takes over ESPN2, and they've got 24 hours of the weirdest sports. I mean, I'm looking at a schedule here of what they've got. They start with the movie, end with the movie of dodgeball, and but they got stuff. I got a couple of videos here of and this first one. I was doing my research like I should for the show, right? And I got sucked into watching more than an hour.
Raspberry Racers, is this their chance to assert their dominance on the standings of the Marvel Olympics? It's a 2-point lead, so they got to go a little bit farther from here. Crazy Cat's Eye, Hazers, Jungle Jumpers, the Oceanics. Oceanics out to a lead, but now everybody catches up with them. Hazers.
I even got so far that I had a favorite marvelist, the one who wins this race. That's why I chose this clip.
They will, but who got second?
And
it will
this is crazy.
Jumpers. About a quarter of a lane.
Yeah, they had it was like a 2.5 hour broadcast of Marble Run, and they just have this Lego set, no humans. The guy is totally a great announcer for marbles. And it's ridiculous. And another one that maybe people saw it earlier today, stone skipping. And this is pretty impressive though. Look at that. Oh, if you can see it. And then finally this other one, I don't know how much of a sport this is, but it's pizza trials, everything with dough and acrobatics, pizza tossing. There's clips in here of I guess you have to make these exactly the same size as the pan. I guess that's how you get judged. Box making, pizza box making. It kind of makes me think, I wonder if like Pizza Hut, Domino's, if they have like recruiters sitting at this competition, say, hey, you need a job? We're about to make the biggest pizza in the world, and you look like the right guy for it, because this thing is almost 3 feet wide. I think this pizza thing that he's tossing around. But they just got some lawnmower racing. Now that's one I'd actually like to watch. And I don't know why they only do this once a year. But this has I would love to see, like you said, what's the ratings going to be like for ESPN 8 The Ocho,
Ocho.
So
watching ESPN over the years, though, since it started, they've done some of these things. I flipped through ESPN2 or something like that, and I've seen cornhole championships. I've seen log cutting championships. I've watched all sorts of things, but some of these niche sports, I think people really gravitate to because you don't have to train. You have to practice. Everyone has to be the best at whatever these competitions are, okay? Whether it's cornhole or whatever, throwing darts. There's a lot of practice involved in all of these competitions. So I think when I enjoy some of these the most is when I watch, like, the Olympic Games. How many people got into curling after this past Winter Olympics with that USA team that won? Man, that's like all I watched during the Winter Olympics. I was on the schedule for the curling team. I saw whatever else I saw when I saw it, but I was like, when are those dudes curling? I'm watching this curling stuff, and that was kind of like my niche sport that I got into during the Olympics this last Winter Olympics, for sure.
We were the same way. We actually found a place that you can go curling. You can the stone, you could rent the stone, you could rent the shoe, everything. You could just, and somewhere here in the LA area that you could go and do curling. And we were all dead set that, we're going to go spend a day and we're going to go try curling. But yeah, we got pumped about it too. And it's one of those unusual sports. It's like, it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess there is a lot of talent to it, and to see them curve and do the strategy, it's a lot of fun. But I think it takes, I don't know what takes more skill, that or stone skipping or cherry pit spitting championship, Tetris World Championship. So, once you're done with this show, go check out ESPN 8 The Ocho. They need your views, and don't forget to stay here.
Leave us a comment if there's any of these activities or sports that you like, that you're into. Let us know about it. I mean, we've done some things. I mean, me and Chuck used to do 3D compound bow competitions in the past with compound bows. Shooting arrows. We'd go out in the forest and you'd shoot 40 targets a day and you'd camp and you'd do it the next day and go home. We've done things like that. Our family plays bocce ball. We love getting together to play bocce ball. I know one of the hot things right now it's kind of a niche competition thing that are popping up all over the country. We just got one in our town, is axe throwing. There's an axe throwing place. So you go down and you rent a lane like bowling basically, and it's just a target on a piece of wood and you throw axes and you keep score. So if you have anything like this that you do or any competitions that you're interested in, leave it in the comments. We'd like to hear about it.
Absolutely. And we'll absolutely. We love, I don't want to say it's the oddball stuff, but we love the outliers. I mean, like I said, Dave and I have been into a lot of different things, a lot of different sports. And, even though it doesn't take maybe a lot of athletic ability, I mean, no, see, I'm not going to put down my own, no.
Everything takes skill and practice.
It does take some skill and practice. But yeah, I mean, it's so anything that you want. Also, as this show progresses, we will have guests on. We've been talking with some people. We're just trying to line up some schedules. But if you have a sports organization, sports business, you have a sports cause, any type of cause or event that you would like to promote, please let us know. We'd love to bring you on the show and have a discussion with you about it and share it, and then we'll help you, afterwards, help market that event and get it out there through social media. So we'd love to have you on and as a guest, and we're looking forward to that. So you want to do, before we finish, you want to talk about, we've got, a wonderful organization that's a part of the show, led by our other host here, Play It Through Sports. And I'd like to have Dave tell you a little bit about it. And each week we're going to have the Play It Through Sports person of the week. And so, Dave, why don't you talk to us about that?
Sure. So Play It Through, it's basically a lifestyle brand that I'm creating. I'm working on right now. I'm working on getting sample shirts so that I can go out to different events for causes. So basically what Play It Through is, spelled with capital letters play, lowercase letters it, capital letters through, spelled THRU. And basically what this is I was trying to think of something with everyone on, social media and on their phones and texting, and not, communication just seems like face-to-face communication is kind of lacking a little bit as technology grows. Technology is wonderful. We're using it now to reach a lot of people. So if it's used the right way, it's a beautiful thing. But I also like that one-on-one in-person communication too, which I see just kind of going away a little bit. So I was trying to think of what, a brand that could bring us all together. And so I'm developing this Play It Through brand. Basically what it is it will support different causes. So, and any cause really. Every cause is represented by a color or linked to a color pretty much. So, for breast cancer, the color is pink. To support the troops, it's yellow. So basically, I'm getting shirts made, Play It Through in those colors, so that if you or somebody is going through something, you can wear this to support them. If you're going through something, if whatever your it is, You can, just kind of let everybody know I'm dealing with something, but I'm playing it through. I'm getting through it. I'm still playing, and I'm getting through it, moving forward. So on this show, I'm going to pick somebody every week to basically be the play it through athlete or competitor of the week. So this week I have Amy Bockerstedt. You might have seen her. She's been on ESPN lately. Pretty sure she was on the ESPYs. She is in the May 2019 edition of Golf Digest. So basically Amy's story is she's a young girl from Phoenix, Arizona, and she played high school golf despite having Down syndrome. She made it to 2 Arizona State High School, basically state appearances in the championship. She also received a scholarship to go to Paradise Valley Community College in Arizona. Her dad, Joe, introduced her to the game. He caddies for her during Special Olympic events, so that's a very close bond that they have as father and daughter. That's wonderful to see. Her story got out there a little bit, and one of the professionals on the PGA Tour, Gary Woodland, befriended her, invited her to, since she lives in Phoenix, the Waste Management Open is always there, golf tournament in Phoenix. So he invited her to come play a practice round with him this year, which was pretty awesome. And so she had to go in front. Basically, they do that like on a Wednesday before the tournament starts. But there's still a crowd there. There's still people there. So she got to play with Gary Woodland in a practice round and did pretty well and steps up to the challenge. She's also, she's taken dance classes. She's been in theater. She gave a graduation speech when she was in high school. So she's just a wonderful example of someone that's playing it through. And so I wanted to give her a shout out. And so she'll be our first episode's Play It Through Sports or Competitor of the Week.
I think that's awesome. I mean, it's all about being inspired, with what you've gone through and sharing a success. We know you've gone through a trial and but you've persevered and you've been successful with it. And that's what we want to celebrate, or what Dave wants to celebrate, with his organization. And I just look forward to, just hearing as often as we can, whether it's on the show or off the show, just the success stories, of what we, or individuals have to go through in life, and how you come out of that, and the positive stories behind it, because that's what's inspirational to other people. And it gives that drive, that the, encouragement to continue on when times get tough. So, nice transition. You want to talk about some beer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand you have something that's quite aggressive.
Oh yeah, that's how I like my beer.
Oh, no, I gotta get mine too. You can kind of stay behind me. You go ahead. Oh, you got your growler out as well.
Yeah. So my beer selection for episode 1 here is Stone Brewing's Arrogant Bastard Ale. Beautiful thing about Stone Brewing is they are located a half an hour from my house, south. They are one of the bigger craft breweries in San Diego, well known really throughout the country for a lot of their beers. So that is my selection today. Once again, is the Stone Brewing Arrogant Bastard Ale. And as far as aggressive, it does have a little bit of a bitter taste. It is fairly aggressive on the tongue, but delicious. It is a beer I've had before. It is a beer that I will enjoy for a long time. So that was my selection today.
That's got a lot more color than most of the beers you drink. I mean, that's like something I would drink, and what I have, not quite, but that's yours is usually the hoppier IPAs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually I'll go for IPAs or ambers or reds. Usually are my main, or just a great good old Guinness. If I never know what I want, just give me a Guinness. I'm good.
What would you? I mean, is that an every meal beer? Is that a steak beer? Is it what do you? I mean, drinking it and tasting it, because people watching may not have had it. It's like, well, gosh, I've seen it. I see it all over the place, because that's probably one of Stone's more popular brews.
I would say it has some toffee hints to it and things like that. You definitely could have it with food. I don't know. I don't think I'd have it with steak. I'd probably have it with maybe a lighter meat like chicken or pork or something. I don't think I would have this with a steak. And yeah, it's more of I mean, for being a little bit aggressive, it's pretty easy drinking. There's not a lot on the back of it. You get all the flavor up front pretty much. There's no linger to it. So, I mean, it's definitely not, I would say, more of a fall beer or winter beer. It's not a summery, refreshing beer. It's more closer to, it's definitely a craft beer, stouter beer.
Well, I went along with, you can kind of, if I move this way, opposite way, the six-pack behind me there, Deschutes, out of good old Oregon. They do make they brew some great beer up in Oregon.
We love Oregon.
Yes, we love Oregon. And, years ago when I first started drinking kind of a darker beer, I think it was McTarnahan's was it. But then I found Black Butte Porter, which is still a staple around my house. But today is it's another Deschutes brewery, Obsidian Stout. And it is... I can't do it justice. I tried to memorize this because I don't even know if you could possibly be all of this. Black skies, ominous flows, dark notions venture beneath us, bold stouts, sinister exterior to unearth a deeply complex, rewarding ale worthy of immortality.
Wow. Is that guy write books also?
Right? Hey, guess what? It's beer.
Yeah.
But it's a nice heavy. Well, it's not heavy. That's kind of the cool thing. I mean, it's definitely a stout, and I love darker beers. You give me something red or darker, and Chuck is happy. But it's. I would say that this is a beer that's good with. If you don't want to have a glass of wine with pasta, this would be good with pasta. It goes down actually quite easy. But it has a ton of flavor that's just, it's almost, I would say it's like almost not as heavy, but it's almost like drinking a port. You're relaxing, you're enjoying, and just sipping on something. I think this is a really good beer. It's not going to be one that's going to say, oh man, it's 100 degrees outside and I need to drink something ice cold right now. I need an ice cold beer right now. Probably not the one you're going to go to. But it's definitely, it's one of those ones that's like, okay, it's wind down time, and and I'm happy. And it's in I've got in my little pizza port sifter glass here that you and I ventured out several years ago down on Hop Highway, and and visited, and forgot what town it's in. I don't know if it says it on there, but when we made our trip down Hop Highway. And on our way to the beer festival in at Del Mar, right? Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
San Diego. Yeah. So hey, if you guys have a beer that you'd like us to review, we'd be more than happy to. Really, I mean that's part of the show. It's drafts or sports and drafts. So put it in the comments and. And let us know. If you happen to be a beer distributor, we would love to talk to you. I mean, hey, come on the show or just send us some beer and we'll review it and say something nice about it because we're just nice people. So I guess that wraps up our beer section. And really, kind of wraps up our show for this week. We before we go, and I'll give you the final word. We did start our show a little bit late today. There was a software glitch. We will have that nailed for next week, and we did have somebody pop in with Claw. Have you heard of Claw? Is that a beer?
I have not. Claw? White Claw? The little. I've heard of White Claw. They're little alcoholic pre-made drinks. They're not beer.
I'll have to look that up. And maybe Shannon's just messing with us, but I'll look it up. And we're sorry we got on a little bit late today. We'll nail that out. We're still getting used to all of this wonderful technology in front of us. But if you did join the show, please share it. Set your reminders. We'll send out another reminder for next week. And tell your friends about it. And we've got a decent following even in the last couple of weeks. So, over the next couple of months, look forward to some cool guests that we have lined up. And with that, Dave, you got any last words?
Yeah, just things coming up this weekend. So one of the things that we want to do for the show, we're having it on Wednesdays because once football season starts, there's going to be college games on Saturday. There's going to be NFL games on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. So really Tuesday and Wednesday was our sweet spot. We're not fighting with a lot of other things on TV, American Idols and all those shows and The Voice that everyone watches. And those are always on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays. So Wednesday is our sweet spot. So guess what? We're what you get to watch on Wednesdays because you have nothing better than us. But we wanted to let you know what's coming up this weekend. So things to watch, what's happening. We'll be your TV guide, if you will, for sports a little bit. Things that I think you should just kind of be mindful of. So starting Thursday, there's going to be a lot of preseason NFL games on Thursday. There's a few on Friday and Saturday. So if you're into seeing these guys fight for roster spots, week one is in full gear for preseason football starting on Thursday, games Friday and Saturday. Team USA basketball is in Las Vegas. The FIBA Open starts August 31st. All the guys are there trying to make the cut, make the team. Check some of that out on the internet. You can find a lot of good stuff on Instagram if you go and look up USA men's basketball. A lot of highlights of all your favorite players in the league going on one-on-one, working drill, scrimmaging. So check that out. Friday, my team. So Chuck's not into this. He's not an English Premier League soccer or football watcher. I am. And my team, Liverpool FC, you never walk alone. They start the English Premier League season this Friday at noon Pacific time, which I'll be at a work meeting, so I'll be recording it. But they play against Norwich to open up the season. I'm predicting them to win the English Premier League this year. They'll have a rough time because Manchester City's very good. Tottenham will be there. But then Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, all of them will be following. So it's 3-horse race for me this year: Liverpool, Manchester City, and Tottenham. And then, if you keep going, Portland Timbers are on right now against Minnesota in Open Cup. And then for baseball, the 3 series I think you should watch this weekend are the Twins and the Indians. They're fighting. They're 1-2 in the Central Division. They have a 4-game series that starts tomorrow that goes all through the weekend. The Brewers against the, Rangers. They're both fighting for a playoff spot. And also the Nats and the Mets. So the Washington Nationals and the Mets, both of them are also fighting for their playoff lives. So those are the 3 baseball series. If you get a chance to check them out or follow, that I would suggest. And then last, something I'm also into because I'm old head, is the Big 3 from Ice Cube. So there's games Saturday. Saturday's games are the Enemies versus the Three-Headed Monsters, Tri-State versus Power, Trilogy versus the Ghost Ballers, which my friend Alex Scales from Oregon plays on. He's one of the 6. Had 7 points last week to match his jersey number. I will probably be wearing some of his attire on the show to rep him, and I'll try to get him as a guest. But watch the Big 3. It's awesome. It's dudes my age or a little bit younger that still have it, playing 3-on-3. I love it. That all starts. It's on CBS and CBS Sports. Starts at 5 o'clock, ends at 8 Pacific time. So that's my week to watch.
Yours. I'm gonna ruin yours because mine totally undersells what you just did. Yours was amazing. I was like, well, you know what? The Little League World Series just started.
That's awesome.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch some Little League World Series yet, and I was gonna pick out a game or two that I was looking forward to, but they haven't actually filled the brackets yet for I think Friday and Saturday. So don't really know yet who's playing on Saturday, but that is going on. It's always fun to watch these youngsters to see what just out there having fun. A good, clean game of baseball. It's always fun to watch. I've been, with my kids or not kids, we've been involved in Little League Baseball and everything. And so that was it. So I was like, well, there's no Little League Baseball to watch. I got preseason football. But I think I'm just going to stick with the Ocho and maybe watch, Dodgeball, the true underdog story.
Oh, one more. If you're into golf, this week's tournament, the Liberty National Golf Club, it's in Jersey. They got golf courses in New Jersey. I didn't even know that. But it's a full field. So if you only watch when Tiger golfs, he's there this weekend. And he tees off on Thursday in a group right before Phil Mickelson tees off. So if you're a guy that only watches golf for Tiger, well, you're lucky. He's playing this weekend. So tournament in Jersey, you can see Tiger play.
All right, guys. Hey, everyone. Well, with that, again, thank you. If you are in our first viewer group, and we just thank you for being there. I did actually, before we go, I have I'm part of a cycling group here in Santa Clarita, SCV Pedaling Posse. And if you're in Santa Clarita and you like to cycle and you're not a member of a group, you should be. And so we were, after our ride, we were having coffee at the local shop, Bodie Leaf. And I'm just getting all these plugs in, right? Unpaid plugs. And somebody across from me says, so Chuck, what's this sports and drafts thing you got going? And so we had our first fan that was just out in public that mentioned it. So that really made me feel good that the kind of the message is getting out. But you guys can certainly help. We'll be trying to do some midweek stuff and sharing some polls. And so be sure to follow us. Be sure to share the video when the reminders come out. Tell your friends. I mean, sure, it's 30 to 60 minutes of their life. They'll never get back. But you know what? We're trying to have fun, and we'd like to bring you into it. So, again, if you have any comments, continue to add them. We'd love to add you to the show in the future. And with that, Dave, let's say goodbye.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next week. See you, everyone.